The case you're about to see is fictional. The characters are played by actors, but the jury is selected from members of the public. On the night of the 15th of April 1982, Steve O'Reilly visited his mother's flat while on the run from Bamford Hall, a closed borstal. Mrs. O'Reilly's boyfriend, Thomas Datchet, had been involved in a violent quarrel with O'Reilly, and a knife and a broken bottle were used. Datchet was killed. Steve O'Reilly has been charged with his murder. He's pleaded not guilty.
What is your full name, please?
Andrew James McKenzie, sir.
And what is your occupation?
I'm a prison officer at Bamford Hall, Borstal, Fulchester, sir.
Yes. Were you employed at Bamford Hall when O'Reilly was there?
Yes, sir.
Yes. And how old was O'Reilly when he began his sentence?
17, sir.
How many times did he escape, Mr. McKenzie?
Twice.
And how did O'Reilly get on with his fellow inmates, Mr. McKenzie?
Not too good, sir.
Would you describe him as popular?
Not really, sir.
Why was he unpopular, do you think?
It's hard to say, sir. I think the other inmates thought he was a bit weird, sir.
Why should they think that, Mr. McKenzie?
Well, he never spoke to anybody apart from when he was reading out his poems. I think they get a bit sick of it, sir.
Was this reading of his poems a regular thing?
Oh, yes, sir, quite regular.
And was O'Reilly aware that the other inmates were getting sick of it?
Yes, sir, I think he was. He seemed to do it on purpose to annoy them.
Was he ever involved in violence at Bamford Hall?
Yes, sir. He became quite hard.
And was he frequently involved in violence?
Oh, yes, sir. He was always fighting about something or other. It became a bit of a problem.
So would you describe O'Reilly's behaviour as aggressive?
Yes, he was sometimes.
Yes. Was there any occasion in which O'Reilly spoke of enmity towards the deceased Thomas Datchet?
Yes.
And did this occur in your presence?
I was there, sir.
And what happened, Mr. McKenzie?
Well, sir, he was playing his buzzcocks.
What was he playing?
Oh, that racket, my lord.
I believe they are punk musicians, popular musicians, my lord.
Ah. Thank you. Carry on, Mr. Goulding.
Well, he had this music blaring out in the common room, sir, and he was annoying the other lads, reading out his poems on top of the music. Well, if you can call it that. My colleagues tried to stop him, but he started to climb along the water pipes, shouting out this poem.
Carry on, Mr. McKenzie, and then what happened?
Well, I was summoned to the common room, sir. When he saw me, he seemed to cool down a bit. But he was still shouting out things about Datchet.
What things was he shouting?
Well, he was telling the other lads how much he hated him. And all of us too, for that matter. It could have been a dangerous situation. However, my colleagues and I soon restrained him.
Yes, how many colleagues were required to restrain him?
I believe there were 3, sir.
Oh, and you considered his behaviour warranted 3 warders to restrain him?
Oh, yes, I was going a bit wild. We had to pull him down. It was difficult. He is a stubborn lad.
Now, this poem he was shouting, what was it about, Mr. McKenzie?
It was about Datchet, sir.
Well, how do you know it referred to him?
O'Reilly told me, sir.
When did he tell you?
Immediately after the incident, sir.
It's exhibit number 1, my lord. I would like Mr. McKenzie to read this poem out to the court, if he may.
Yes, he may. If it's not too long.
Thank you, my lord. If you would care to read the poem out, Mr. McKenzie.
Now, I'm not very good at this sort of thing.
Please, Mr. McKenzie, this isn't a poetry competition. Just read it clearly, if you can.
All right. No light, no fun, no future. On the run. Never showed nothing. Never showed me nothing. No light, no fun. I'll show him how I feel.
Thank you. Now, how do you know these lines referred to Datchet, Mr. McKenzie?
Because O'Reilly told me they did, sir.
Thank you, Mr. McKenzie. Will you wait there?
Mr. McKenzie, how did you get on with Steve O'Reilly during his time in Bamford Hall?
Not too badly. Well, it's hard to say. He's difficult to speak to.
Did you have an opportunity to get to know him at all?
Not really. We're very busy. There's no time for individual attention. Anyway, it is not my job to get to know people.
And did he ever approach you to talk to you about why he wrote that poem you've just read out? Or indeed any of his work?
Not really, no. They just told me at the time they had written it about Datchet.
And you didn't try to find out what he meant?
I didn't want to, frankly. We thought as long as he was doing his writing, he would stay out of trouble.
You didn't like O'Reilly, did you, Mr. McKenzie?
I am not there to like or dislike people. I am there to maintain order.
Mr. McKenzie, you've told my learned friend that O'Reilly was frequently involved in violence at Bamford Hall.
Yes.
Was this violence ever started by O'Reilly himself?
Not really, no.
Did he ever initiate violence with any of the other inmates?
No.
Why then was he frequently involved in violence, Mr. McKenzie?
I don't know.
You don't know, Mr. McKenzie? The violence must surely have been started by other people, must it not?
Yes, I suppose it was.
Therefore, he was picked on, wasn't he?
I suppose so. It's only natural. It happens.
It happens. Therefore, O'Reilly's actions were always in self-defense.
Most of the time.
Yes or no, Mr. McKenzie?
Yes. There are those who try to keep their noses clean, and then there are deliberate troublemakers.
And which category would you say that O'Reilly came under?
Well, he steered clear of trouble, I suppose. But he wasn't popular, ma'am.
Ah, yes, and you gave your reason for his unpopularity to my learned friend because he was a bit weird. What do you mean by a bit weird, Mr. McKenzie?
Well, it's like I said, he hardly ever spoke. Only when he was reading his poems. Then again, he shut himself away for hours on end.
Mr. McKenzie, would you therefore describe Steve O'Reilly's behaviour in Borstal in this respect as being a quiet type?
Yes, he was quiet and moody with it.
And did he try to keep himself to himself?
Most of the time, yes.
And you would describe this as a bit weird, would you, Mr. McKenzie?
Look, I'm only trying to say what the other inmates, the other lads thought.
Oh, did the other lads actually say this to you?
Well, not in so many words.
Not in so many words. Well, did they or did they not, Mr. McKenzie?
Well, they didn't actually say it, no. That's my impression.
Ah, that's your impression. Mr. McKenzie, did O'Reilly start to fight back immediately?
Sorry, I don't know what you mean.
Well, when did O'Reilly start to fight back?
Oh, quite quickly.
When, exactly?
It was after he escaped the first time. He'd been on the run for a few months.
So for the whole period before he escaped, he had to endure physical assaults from the other inmates?
Yes. Oh, but not all the time. We're there to maintain order, to stop that sort of thing.
But you were aware that until he returned from his period on the run, this weird boy, as you call him, was being picked on?
Yes.
Mr. McKenzie, when did the incident of the poem occur? Was it before or after his time on the run?
It was after.
Oh, so this is the period when he was fighting back?
Yes.
When you were restraining him, did you or your colleagues ever strike him?
No! We restrained him. We are disciplined, highly trained officers. We don't use counter-violence. Unless it's absolutely necessary.
So O'Reilly's behavior was not violent at the time of reading the poem?
No, I suppose not. But he was creating a disturbance.
Therefore, regarding his behavior in Borstal, you say he steered clear of violence, unless attacked. But he wasn't popular. Most of the time, he kept himself to himself.
Most of the time, yes.
Thank you, Mr. McKenzie. No further questions, my lord.
Mr. McKenzie, could you describe how O'Reilly's behaviour changed after his escape?
Well, he hadn't escaped just from Bamford Hall, you know. He'd done a runner from an open Borstal too, sir.
Done a runner?
Oh, yes, sir. He'd escaped before. From an open Borstal before he came to Bamford Hall. We pride ourselves on our security. Well, no penal institution is 100%, sir.
Yes. Now, when he escaped from Bamford Hall, your Borstal, how long was he at liberty?
3 months, sir.
And my learned friend has pointed out that O'Reilly did not respond violently during the Perm incident and that most of the time he was not violent. However, could you explain what you meant when you said that he was harder on his return to Bamford Hall?
Yes. Well, he'd toughened up physically, sir. He wasn't picked on so much.
Now, why do you think this was?
Well, we discovered he'd been living rough and having to fend for himself on the streets, sir.
Did O'Reilly seem more aggressive on his return?
I think he was, yes.
And how did he respond to authority?
He seemed resentful, sir.
Now, you've told my learned friend that the poem incident occurred after his return, when he seemed more resentful of authority and aggressive. Now, was the poem you have read to the court written during this period?
Yes, sir.
And how do you know this?
Because O'Reilly told me. He said it had been written when he was on the run.
Yes. Now, from your experience of O'Reilly, Mr. McKenzie, how would you interpret the lines, I'll show him how I feel"?
Well, it's obvious, sir.
My lord, I must object.
Yes, I agree. Mr. Mackenzie's literary opinions are both irrelevant and inadmissible.
Very well, my lord. No further questions. Thank you, Mr. McKenzie.
Can I refer to my notes, please, sir?
Were they made when the event was fresh in your mind?
Oh, yes, sir.
Carry on, then.
Well, the station received a phone call.
Who made this phone call?
A man who said he was Stephen O'Reilly.
And who answered the call?
I did.
What did O'Reilly say?
He said, "Come quickly. I've killed a man. I've killed him. I've done it."
Please continue.
Well, it sounded a bit strange.
Why strange, Constable?
Well, he sounded so calm. I thought it might be a hoax. I told the inspector in charge, who ordered me to check it out.
Yes, please continue.
Well, when I arrived in the squad car, I went straight to the block of flats in question and to Mrs. O'Reilly's flat. The door was opened by a Miss Joanna Downey.
You are referring to the accused's girlfriend who was there at the time?
Yes. She let me in. I went into the sitting room and found O'Reilly sitting on the sofa with his arm around Mrs. O'Reilly, his mother.
And where was Mr. Datchet?
Well, Datchet was lying on the floor. I tried to revive him, but he'd been bleeding from the heart. He was already dead. I then radioed for CID.
And did you find anything that might have been used as a weapon?
Yes, there was a bread knife. It was lying on the floor next to Datchet. There was blood on it.
Yes, exhibit number 2, my lord. May the witness be shown it. Was there any other object?
Yes, there was a broken bottle.
Yes, exhibit number 3, my lord. And was there blood on the bottle?
No, just the bread knife.
And where was the bottle, Constable?
Oh, this was also near the body.
And did you question O'Reilly?
Yes.
And what was the result of your questioning?
I asked O'Reilly what had happened. He said, "I stabbed him. I couldn't take no more."
And what sort of condition was Mrs. O'Reilly in?
Oh, well, she appeared to be in a state of shock. She was crying, hysterical.
And did she say anything, Constable?
Yes, she kept repeating, "Why did you do it? Why did you do it?"
Now, on further questioning, did O'Reilly say exactly what had happened?
Yes, he said that Datchet went for my mum, then he went for me with a bottle, and I picked up the knife from the table and stabbed him.
Is that all?
Yes?
And did he show any resistance to his arrest?
No, he was cooperative.
And did he say anything at the time of his arrest?
Yes, when I asked him to come with me, he said, "Certainly. It'll make a change to be put away for doing something bad. Joyrides never hurt no one."
And did it appear to you that at any time he showed any remorse for what he had done?
Well, not really. I can't say he did.
Well, why do you think that was, Constable?
Well, he seemed very calm about it. You see, it's my first murder, and I didn't...
Objection, my lord.
You mean it's the first death you have attended? It's for the jury to decide the nature of that death.
Oh, yes, sir.
There's no need to call me sir.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Go on, Constable.
Well, I didn't expect him to be so resigned.
He seemed resigned about it.
Yes, he did.
Well, in what way did he seem resigned?
Well, he didn't attempt to escape. He was just waiting there.
Or did he seem shocked by what he'd done?
No.
Or confused?
No, not really.
Thank you, Constable.
Constable Diprose, you do say it was O'Reilly who made the call to the station.
Yes.
What time was that?
10:25.
You also say that O'Reilly didn't appear to be at all shocked or confused.
Well, he didn't seem to be.
You are quite sure that Mrs. O'Reilly appeared to be in a state of shock.
She did, yes.
Why then are you not sure whether O'Reilly was in a state of shock?
Well, he seemed quite calm.
People do register shock in different ways, do they not?
I suppose so, yeah.
I suggest to you that O'Reilly was in a state of shock. And it was this state of shock that made him appear to be free from remorse. Does that seem possible to you?
Perhaps, yeah.
So you now agree that it is possible that although O'Reilly appeared to be free from shock, he might simply not have been showing it in as demonstrative a way as his mother.
It is possible.
Did Mrs. O'Reilly have any injury?
Yes, she had received an injury to her eye.
Was it bleeding?
The wound was bleeding, yes.
And what did you do about that?
Well, I thought she needed stitches. I offered to radio for an ambulance, but she refused to leave Datchet. When CID had finished and the body was removed, she insisted on going in the ambulance with the body.
Does it appear possible to you that O'Reilly might have been retaining his composure in order to comfort his mother?
Well, it's possible, yes.
Was Steve O'Reilly at any time violent or abusive towards you?
No.
And what was Miss Downey doing at the time?
Well, she was upset. She was standing up against a wall.
Did Miss Downey, the accused girlfriend, say anything?
Yes, she said, Steve, I saw him going for you. I know you never meant it.
And you are quite sure that the bread knife was on the floor?
Yes, by the body of Datchet.
And where was the body of Datchet lying?
By the side table.
And did the bottle appear to have been recently smashed?
Oh, yes, there was shattered glass all over the carpet.
Officer, we have heard that the defendant had been sentenced to Borstal training, but it is right, isn't it? True. That he had never been convicted of any offence concerning the use of violence.
Well, not against the person.
I must ask you once again, Constable Diprose, did O'Reilly at any time attempt to escape or resist his arrest?
No.
And when you arrived at the flat, he was sitting with his arm around his mother, having just telephoned the police station.
That is correct.
Thank you, Constable. No further questions, my lord.
No re-examination, my lord. May I have your full name, please?
Frances Bridget O'Reilly.
Yes, and are you the mother of the defendant, Stephen O'Reilly?
Yes.
And what is your place of residence?
5 Arkwright House, Shelton Estate, Fulchester.
And were you living there with Thomas Datchet?
Yes.
How long were you living together?
3 years.
Yes, could you explain the circumstances leading up to your relationship with Datchet?
Well, I was living with my husband. We'd been married for 11 years and then he left me. No warning, nothing. He just walked out on us. I had to go to work full time. I did a few odd jobs for a few years, bit of waitressing. Stevie and me, we had to keep on the move when we was in London because I couldn't always pay the rent. And then I moved up here to Fulchester. My sister used to live here and she had space for us. It was a bit of security for Stevie and me. Then after a couple of years, I met Tom and fell in love with him. He had a job as a labourer, so we decided to rent a flat together. Of course, I ended up paying all the rent, though. He couldn't keep his jobs down.
Could you explain why, Mrs. O'Reilly?
Drink, simple as that. He used to drink himself senseless, then he couldn't be bothered. Then he'd get depressed about being out of work and couldn't be interested enough to find any. It was a vicious circle.
Yes, and how old was your son by this time?
16.
And what was the relationship like between Datchet and your son?
Pretty tense.
Now, when did this tension begin?
Almost immediately. You see, Stevie loved his real dad. He couldn't get used to Tom. He never gave him a chance, really.
In what way did he not give him a chance, Mrs. O'Reilly?
Well, he thought he was a loudmouth, an intruder. He made up his mind about him right from the start.
Made up his mind?
That he couldn't stand him.
Was this tension between Thomas Datchet and your son a persistent occurrence?
Yeah, it was. And then Stevie started to change.
Could you explain this change, Mrs. O'Reilly?
Well, he changed from a quiet, intelligent boy into a rebel, I suppose. We all go through it, I know I did. But with Stevie, it was more like a way of getting his own back at me, staying out all night at concerts, mixing with bad company.
Bad company?
Yeah. Punks and skinheads, that sort. He was becoming quite uncontrollable.
Yes. Why do you think this was?
Well, a bit of jealousy, I suppose, on both sides, I suppose. Stevie used to say I was too good for Tom. Sweet, really. I mean, how could I be too good for anyone?
When did your son start behaving erratically, staying out late at night, for instance?
Well, a couple of weeks after I moved in with Tom. Tom came in pissed one night and started laying into Stevie, who was doing his homework in the kitchen.
And did you try to intervene?
Well, yeah, but there wasn't much I could do. See, Tom was a big man. Then he started on me. And Stevie just ran out of the house and he didn't come back all night. I was worried sick. That's how it all began, really, what with him staying out all night. I just couldn't cope.
Was there any let-up from this tense situation?
Well, yeah, when Stevie was out.
But when O'Reilly was at home, was there any time of peace?
Well, things did get a bit better for a while. They just sort of ignored each other. And then one night Tom started laying into me and Stevie tried to stop him. Then all the rows and the tension started all over again and Stevie started staying out all night again. I loved my boy, but I loved that man too. You see, Stevie really needed someone to look after him, but I just couldn't. I was out at work all day. and some evenings in the pub. That's when he stole the car. He only did it for a laugh, but they put him in open Borstal.
Yes, what happened then, Mrs. O'Reilly?
Well, he escaped, and then they put him in closed Borstal, Bamford Hall. But he escaped from there and all.
Could you tell the court what happened?
Well, I had a phone call to say he'd escaped, and then no one heard anything for about 3 months. And then he rang me up, said he was in London playing with this band. He didn't like it, though. He was going on about the audience. They didn't understand the words of his song, what he was trying to say. He said he wanted to talk to someone, and would I go and meet him? I promised not to tell anyone the address, but of course Tom forced it out of me, and then he rang the police.
Yes, and the police apprehended O'Reilly and returned him to Bamford Hall, the closed Borstal. Is this correct?
Yes.
Yes. Now, did you hear from your son after this?
Just one letter. All he said was, I am nothing, and I come from nothing.
Yes. Now, did O'Reilly escape from Bamford Hall a second time?
Yeah.
And could you explain what happened?
Well, the police came here looking for him. They told me he'd escaped. Then a couple of days later, he showed up with this girl.
Oh, yes. Are you referring to Joanna Downey?
Yeah, one of these rockers he'd been mixing with. I didn't mind, but I thought it was a bit daft, really, him showing up, being on the run. And he knew what Tom was like. I mean, it would have been bad enough if he'd come on his own.
Yes, and this was the night of Mr. Datcher's death, was it not? And what happened next, Mrs. O'Reilly?
Well, Tom said, what are you doing here? And he called his girlfriend some sort of slag or something. And Stevie said, we've just come to patch things up, you know, to sort things out. But he wasn't going to listen. He phoned the police. I thought we should talk about it first.
No, you tried to stop Datchet phoning the police.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, I thought it would be better if we all sat down and talked about it first.
I see. And then what happened?
Well, Tom just lashed out at me. It all happened so fast.
Well, please recount exactly what you saw, Mrs. O'Reilly.
Well, like I said, it all happened so quick.
It really is vital that you recount the facts clearly, Mrs. O'Reilly, to the best of your ability.
Yeah, OK. Well, Stevie picked up this bread knife that I left on the side table. I'd been making Tom some sarnies while he was watching telly. And then Tom smashed a bottle. I was screaming and shouting at them to stop, but you know what men are like once they get started, like stupid kids. Well, Stevie dodged the bottle, and then he stabbed Tom with a knife. I ran to Tom. I couldn't believe it. It was like something you'd see on telly. I was hysterical.
Yes. How many times did your son stab Datchet, Mrs. O'Reilly?
Oh, I don't know, once or twice.
Well, I realise how difficult it must be to give evidence against your own son, Mrs. O'Reilly, but you must try to answer this question. How many times did your son stab Datchet?
I think it was just the once. Yeah, once.
Yes, and what happened next, Mrs. O'Reilly?
Oh, Stevie just stood there.
And what did your son do with the knife?
He dropped it.
And where did he drop it?
Well, right next to Tom. I ran over to him. I couldn't believe it. I tried to get him breathing again, but he wouldn't. I just couldn't believe that he was gone. And then Stevie sat beside me on the sofa to try and comfort me.
Yes, and what was O'Reilly's girlfriend doing at this point?
Oh, she was just standing there, the dirty bitch.
Please, Mrs. O'Reilly, I will not tolerate such comments in court. Please just answer the question.
She was just standing there.
And did you at any time try to intervene?
Well, no. I just shouted at them to stop.
And did O'Reilly ever make any comment at all before Police Constable Diprose arrived?
Oh, he was muttering something.
Muttering what, Mrs. O'Reilly?
Oh, I don't know, something about David.
David?
Yeah, that's it. I feel like David. Yeah, that was it. I feel like David.
The case of the Queen against O'Reilly will be resumed tomorrow in the Crown Court. The case you're about to see is fictional, but the procedure is authentic. The characters are played by actors, but the jury is selected from members of the public. Stephen O'Reilly is charged with murdering his mother's boyfriend, Thomas Datchet, after a violent argument at her flat. Counsel for the defence is cross-examining Mrs. O'Reilly, who is appearing as a prosecution witness.
But, Mrs. O'Reilly, how did your son get on with your husband, his real father?
Oh, Stevie adored him. They got on all right.
How would you describe your relationship with your son before you went to live with Thomas Datchet?
It was okay. I looked after him when my husband left me.
What was your son's behaviour like before Datchet lived with you?
It was all right. He was always a quiet boy.
When you first lived with Datchet, how did Steve react?
Well, like I said, he didn't like Tom.
Well, surely that feeling was mutual.
Yeah.
But would you say that Datchet hated your son?
I don't know. There was no love lost between them. Yeah. I suppose he did hate him.
So you're living with a man who you knew hated your son?
Oh, yeah, I suppose so.
Well, didn't you realise that this would be an unsatisfactory arrangement, Mrs. O'Reilly?
Yeah, but there wasn't much I could do. I was torn, wasn't I? Torn between the two of them. I thought it was just a natural sort of rivalry, what with Stevie growing up and all.
Who was usually responsible for starting the physical aggression between them? Your son or Datchet?
It's hard to say. Well, I suppose Tom was. He was a bit of a nutter. He was a laugh, though. He made me laugh. And he was usually only violent when he'd been drinking.
Why did you marry your husband?
Well, I wanted Stevie to have a proper father.
So your marriage was basically one of convenience?
Well, yeah. I didn't want to get rid of Stevie. There's nothing wrong with that, is there?
Oh, no, Mrs. O'Reilly, I'm not saying that there is. What I am suggesting is that you might have looked on your pregnancy as an inconvenience.
Oh, no, I wanted to have Stevie.
But did you ever love your husband, Mrs. O'Reilly?
Well, yeah, I suppose I did at first.
At first, Mrs. O'Reilly?
Yeah. I thought he was nice-looking, intelligent. I thought he was a nice, reliable sort of bloke.
So what went wrong with your relationship, Mrs. O'Reilly?
He left us. That's what went wrong with it.
Why did your husband leave you, Mrs. O'Reilly?
Well, I don't know, do I?
Was there any friction between you?
Well, yeah, sometimes. I know what you're getting at, though. That I forced him to leave. I didn't. He just left.
But you say that your son got on well with your husband. Why was that, do you think?
Well, they spent so much time together, that's why. He used to take him out for hours on end.
Did you feel that your husband gave more time to Steve than he did to you?
Yeah, I did and all. Too right. I felt like a stranger in my own bloody home.
I see. So you felt left out, did you?
So would you. I always thought he was so proper. I felt like he was looking down on me.
So you were made to feel like an outsider in this relationship. And yet you still say that you didn't regard Steve as an inconvenience.
Yeah.
Mrs. O'Reilly, your son has really been an inconvenience for 19 years, hasn't he?
No.
Was he not an extra mouth to feed when your husband left you?
Yeah.
He was a constant reminder of an unhappy marriage, wasn't he?
No, I don't know what you mean.
Mrs. O'Reilly, I suggest that you've always resented having to support your son. Isn't that so?
No, it's not. I did my duty.
You were secretly relieved, though, when Steve was sent to Borstal, were you not?
No.
Well, didn't you see it as an opportunity for a fresh start with your new man?
No, I did not.
But what about Datchet? Did you love him?
I told you already I did.
Did you ever speak of having children?
Well, yeah, at first. But then I thought it wasn't such a good idea, what with him being violent and all.
Mrs. O'Reilly, was Datchet violent towards you when Steve was in Borstal?
Yeah, sometimes.
Was he often violent?
Yeah, I suppose he was.
Wouldn't it have been simpler just to leave Datchet, Mrs. O'Reilly?
No, it weren't simple. I told you I loved him.
More than you loved Steve?
No, well, I don't know. It's different.
Different, Mrs. O'Reilly?
Yeah, it's a different kind of love, ain't it?
I see. Mrs. O'Reilly, why do you think Steve stayed out all night?
Part of his rebellion, I suppose.
Wasn't the reason to escape from Datchet's violence towards him?
Yeah, that and all.
Of course it was. Didn't you see that this was Steve's way of escape? And that you could have done something to persuade Datchet to stop?
What could I do? He could only have taken it out on me. I was always having to take sides.
I see. And were you aware of your son's writing ability?
Yeah, I knew about it.
How?
Well, he read me some one night when Tom was out. I didn't understand it, though.
I believe his English teacher at school, Miss Elizabeth Jameson, visited you. Isn't that correct?
Yeah, she came round.
What did you do about it?
Wasn't much I could do. Tom told her to piss off.
She did tell you that he had a talent for writing, though, didn't she?
Yeah, so?
Well, Mrs. O'Reilly, how did this make you feel?
Well, I was pleased.
Yet you asked her to leave.
Yeah, well, I didn't want her poking her nose into our business. I mean, it was all very well him being good at writing, but it wasn't going to help us at home, was it?
Did you encourage Steve, Mrs. O'Reilly?
Yes, I told you I was pleased. But I was busy. I had to go out to work. But I did tell him I was pleased that he was good at it.
And where was Steve when you were out working at night?
He'd lock himself in his room till I came back doing his homework.
And when he escaped from Borstal, he did telephone you from London, didn't he? Most anxious to talk to you about the audiences not appreciating his poems. And how did you react?
Well, that was just like Stevie. I mean, he was never satisfied. Bit of a perfectionist, what could I say?
Didn't you try to talk to him?
No, I didn't try to talk to him. I was too bloody worried about him to talk about poetry.
I must reprimand you for this language, Mrs. O'Reilly. You really must refrain from it.
Sorry.
Don't you think you could have shown Steve more encouragement, Mrs. O'Reilly?
I was busy, I told you.
But didn't you realize that your son was suffering because of Datchet's behavior?
Well, yeah.
Yet in order to keep Datchet, you were prepared to let your son be beaten up.
No, I wasn't prepared to let him be beaten up. There was just nothing I could do about it.
You could have left Datchet. Why didn't you leave Datchet?
I told you I loved him.
Yes. Mrs. O'Reilly, when Steve arrived on the night of the 15th, what time was it?
10 o'clock.
What was Datchet's behavior like?
Like I said, he was aggressive.
And what did Steve say to you when he arrived at the flat?
He said he wanted us to meet his girlfriend, to patch things up.
You're quite sure about that?
Yeah, positive.
So Steve actually intended to pacify Datchet?
Well, yeah. But he wasn't going to listen, was he? He went to phone the police.
At which point you intervened?
Yeah. Well, I thought we should talk about it first.
And then Datchet punched you?
Yeah.
Did this injury cause you to bleed?
Yeah.
Did this bleeding start immediately?
Yeah.
Where was this blow?
Over the eye.
Would you say it impaired your vision?
What?
What, did the blood run into your eyes?
Yes.
Therefore you had difficulty in seeing?
Sort of.
Sort of. Did you have difficulty in seeing?
Yes, but I know what you're getting at. I saw it all, you know. I saw what happened.
But the blood was running into your eyes?
Yes.
How did Steve react to Datchet hitting you?
Well, Stevie picked up the knife.
At which point you claimed Datchet smashed the bottle.
Yeah.
Then what happened?
Well, Tom started waving the bottle about.
Waving it about?
Yeah, you know, pushing it towards Stevie.
How many times did Datchet push the broken bottle towards Steve?
A few times.
A few? How many times was that, Mrs. O'Reilly?
3 or 4. He was like warning Stevie to put the knife down.
That seems rather an extreme way of warning somebody, Mrs. O'Reilly.
Well, I told you he was like that when he'd been drinking.
Yes, indeed. Mrs. O'Reilly, Constable Diprose has stated that you were hysterical. You yourself have said that you were screaming and shouting. You have also said it all happened so quickly. Don't you think that your awareness of what happened could have been a little confused at the time?
No, I saw what happened. It was like I said.
Mrs. O'Reilly, you have said that Datchet was a big man. You have also said he was a violent man. I put it to you, Mrs. O'Reilly, that it was Datchet who made the first move. That having punched you, he then smashed the bottle and attacked your son, who only then picked up the knife. Isn't this correct?
No, Stevie picked up the knife first.
Mrs. O'Reilly, how many stitches did you have in that wound above your eye?
4.
And yet you still claim that the blood from such an injury did not impair your vision, and that in spite of your hysterical condition, you can be perfectly certain of what you have testified before this court.
Yes, I saw it all. That was how it happened.
No further questions, my lord.
Mrs. O'Reilly, now you say that Datchet was drunk on the night of the 15th.
Yes.
Yes. Now, did this affect his reflexes in any way?
How do you mean?
Well, did it slow his movements down at all?
Well, yeah, it's bound to, ain't it?
Indeed. Now, my learned friend has referred to your eye injury. Did this affect your vision as to what you saw of the incident?
No, I saw what happened. Stevie went for the knife and then stabbed Tom with it.
Did Datchet smash the bottle and advance on O'Reilly before he picked up the knife?
No, after.
You're quite sure about this, Mrs. O'Reilly?
Yeah, positive.
Yes. And did it appear that Steve was protecting you in any way by his actions?
Well, no, because Tom had finished hitting me then. He just picked up the knife.
And did he use the knife immediately after he had been struck by Datchet?
And, well, there was some shouting and screaming first, and then he stabbed him. He needn't have done it. He needn't have done it, but he did.
Yes, thank you, Mrs. O'Reilly. No further questions, my lord.
Mr. O'Reilly, could you tell the court what it felt like to see your mother hit by Datchet? Did you hear the question?
Yeah. I was just trying to find the words.
Well?
Well, I don't know, but I didn't like it.
Did your own father ever hit your mother?
No, never. He was gentle, kind. I mean, he'd always steer clear of trouble if he could.
And did you try to follow his example?
I think so, yeah. But then I realised that ain't always the way. Well, I mean, you learn that pretty quick in Borstal. Well, sometimes you just got to fight back.
How did you get on with your father, generally?
We were like mates, brothers. We used to do a lot of fishing and that. Well, he was just like a normal dad, you know.
And how did your mother get on with your father?
All right, I suppose. Well, I don't know. I mean, it seemed all right to me. Well, I don't know. I mean, I was only little. I didn't really know how she felt. I didn't know that she felt left out or nothing.
Now, how old were you when your father left?
11.
How did you feel?
Well, as if he'd died. Well, he might as well have. It felt as bad as if he'd died.
And could you describe your relationship with your mother in the years before you went to live with Datchet?
Well, it was hard, I suppose. It must have been hard for her bringing me up on her own. Well, not that she never made me feel bad about it or nothing. I just never saw that much of her. Well, she used to go out working and that, and I used to stay with her friends. And then we moved in with me auntie in Fulchester. I was 14 then. Well, it was better then, because we had like a more permanent place to stay. I used to see a bit more of her. Then she started getting boyfriends and that. Well, nothing serious, till she met Datchet. And then they got a flat and we moved in.
And how old were you at this time?
16.
And when you both moved in with Datchet, what happened to your relationship with your mother?
Coldness. Cold. Well, I mean, she's a good woman, okay? I mean, she's got a good heart. I just had less and less time with her. Well, I mean, I don't blame her for that. It was Datchet. He just wanted everything all the time.
When did Datchet start being violent towards you?
Right from the start. I mean, like, I'd be trying to get on with my own work, and he'd come in pissed and work me over.
Did you ever think of reporting Datchet's behaviour to the police?
Police wouldn't do nothing. I mean, as Datchet kept telling me, round in your own home's a private matter. There's nothing they can do about it.
Steve, the court has heard a great deal about your staying out all night. Could you tell us in your own words what happened?
My own words? Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I just had to get out. Well, I didn't want to upset me mum or nothing, or get in her way. I just had to get out, get away.
But get away from what?
Well, Datchet. I just couldn't handle it no more. I just had to get out.
When you ran away from Bamford Hall, why did you join the band?
Dunno. I wanted to show someone how I felt, like I used to with me teacher, Miss Jameson. Well, at Bamford Hall, no one understood me right. Well, no one was interested in it. I used to read them out sometimes to the other lads, my poems.
And why did you do that?
Dunno. I suppose I wanted to wind them up, wake them up. Looking back, I can't blame them for getting rolled. I just couldn't talk to no one, so I ran away. Itched it down to London. Then I met Joey. Well, she was a bass player in this band, and they needed a singer-like. So, well, I used my poems for songs, wrote some new ones. Well, I mean, it was great for a while. We did some gigs and that. Well, I really felt like I was doing something. Then I started to get fed up with it. Well, I mean, I put a lot into them words, but I might as well have been shouting nothing. Well, most of the crowds we played to were just a bunch of morons. Well, they never really listened anyway. But it didn't really bother me at first, and it just felt like a waste of time. So, well, anyway, me and Joey thought that we'd try and start a new band. Just try something new. Well, she was a good bass player, and she liked my lyrics. Well, anyway, I just thought I'd go and see my mum, show her how I was. Well, I needed to talk to her. That's why I phoned her when I was on the run. Then she shot me. Well, at least I thought she had. And I felt betrayed, let down. Well, I didn't realise it was Datchet that phoned the police.
So then you returned to Bamford Hall. So when you escaped the second time, why did you return to your mother's flat?
Well, I wanted him to meet Joey. And I wanted him to see that I could handle my life, that I was doing something. I just wanted to straighten things out, talk things over.
I see. And what happened when you arrived?
Well, I went in with Joey. I saw Datchet. I said hello. And he just told me to piss off and take me slag with me. He was always a subtle man with winning ways.
Mr. O'Reilly, would you just tell the events clearly, not make personal comments?
Sorry. Yeah, well, anyway, I just wanted him and my mum to meet with Bird, like, and it'd be all okay and friendly. I told him that I just wanted to talk. And then he come up to me and said that I'd be put away in some maximum security place. And then he started phoning the bill.
The police?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And what did you do?
Well, I just kept me cool. I told him to calm down. My mum told him to sit down and talk things out with me. And then he just turned round and punched her, like, really hard.
Where did he punch your mother?
In the eye.
Was the wound bleeding?
Yeah.
When did the bleeding start?
Straight away.
Uh-huh. Did you retaliate when he hit her?
No. No, I just told him to calm down. And then he turned around, then he come at me with a bottle.
And what did you do when Datchet attacked you?
Well, I said I'd go. Well, I didn't want no trouble.
What, did Datchet let you go?
No, he just kept on at me with this bottle.
Well, how did you respond to that attack?
Well, I dodged out of the way.
What was Datchet doing with the broken bottle?
Well, he was waving it about like in my face.
How many times did Datchet wave it?
4.
What happened next, Mr. O'Reilly?
Well, Datchet punched me in the stomach and I went down like.
You fell on the floor?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then Datchet come up to me and said, right, you little prat, I'm going to have you now. And he pinned me on the floor and he lifted the bottle as if to slash me in the face. Well, I just grabbed the knife from the low table and stabbed it. It just happened so quick.
How many times did you stab him?
Once. Well, I couldn't believe I'd done it.
This is very important, Mr. O'Reilly. Did you pick up the bread knife before Datchet started to wield the broken bottle?
No, I was on the floor with him on top of me. Well, that's when I reached for it.
I must remind you are on oath, Mr. O'Reilly, and ask you whether you intended to kill Datchet.
No, of course I never. Well, I never killed him on purpose.
Thank you very much, Mr. O'Reilly. Stay there.
Mr. O'Reilly, could you tell me how you felt about Datchet?
Well, I never liked him.
Of course you never liked him. I suggest that you hated him, did you not?
Times, yeah. Yeah, I hated him.
In fact, would you agree that you had been treated very badly by this man?
Yeah.
Yes, he was, by accounts, a callous, odious man who had lost his employment and was dissipated by drink, and in this drunken state he would physically assault you.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed, anyone would be exasperated by the situation and would not wish it to continue. Do you agree?
Yeah.
My lord, I must object. I fail to see the point of this circuitous line of questioning.
On the contrary, Miss Field, I think Mr. Golding is arriving at the point. Carry on, Mr. Golding.
Thank you, my lord. The point is, although everyone might be exasperated by this situation, not everybody would brutally kill to alleviate it.
I really must object, my lord.
Yes, Mr. Golding, I must ask you not to make blatant assertions such as this. The jury will disregard this last comment.
I apologize, my lord. Tell me, O'Reilly, did you not think it rather provocative to turn up at the flat on the night of the 15th, knowing the situation?
No. Well, like I said, I just wanted to talk.
Surely you must have been aware that talking was not exactly Datchet's strong point.
Yeah, well, I'm an optimist.
Flippancy will not help you, Mr. O'Reilly.
No, but the truth will. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. Well, I just thought I might be able to get through to the man. Well, I thought about it.
You thought about it?
Yeah. Well, I'd had time to think it over. I thought it was about time we made up, or at least cleared the decks.
Oh, I agree, you certainly had time to think about it. 3 years. But you thought about it in quite another way, did you not?
No, I don't know what you mean.
Well, I suggest that you knew Datchet would be drunk and therefore less in control of himself.
I don't know what you're on about.
No, I suggest that you do, O'Reilly. You see, you had become, as Mr. McKenzie has told us, physically hardened up, had you not?
Well, yeah, I suppose so, but I had to be.
Yes, and therefore more prepared to confront Datchet than you would have been at 16, shall we say.
Look, you've got to be hard in Borstal or you don't survive. But I don't suppose you'd understand. Look, I never started no aggro, all right?
I do not require your comments on Mr. Golding's knowledge of penal institutions and survival. As you put it, I do require you to answer the questions, Mr. O'Reilly. Carry on, Mr. Golding.
Thank you, my lord. Now, do you remember the poem you wrote, the one that Mr. McKenzie read out?
Yeah.
Yes. I'll show him how I feel. Well, who do those lines refer to, Mr. O'Reilly?
That's it.
I see. I'll show him. Well, I must say that doesn't sound like the sentiment of someone who simply wanted to think things over or talk things over. Could you explain?
Well, I'll show him how I feel. Well, I was angry with him, wasn't I? Oh, why should I bother you? You made me puke! Look, I just meant that I'd show him that I could write. That's all. My way of getting even.
I put it to you that your way of getting even was by doing exactly what you did on that night in question, by committing a deliberate act of violence. You knew that this man would be drunk and you just waited for your opportunity, did you not?
No!
Oh, come now, O'Reilly. Why else would you say, I feel like David? Was this not seeing your actions as heroic, David slaying the Goliath?
No!
Did you not see Datchet as a Goliath, O'Reilly?
My name is Steve, and I can write. Your name is Golding, and you're full of shite!
I will not tolerate such language in this court, Mr. O'Reilly.
Sorry.
You picked up the knife to provoke Datchet directly, did you not?
No.
I put it to you that your very act of turning up at the flat with your girlfriend that night was provocation enough, even had you not even touched the knife.
I never picked it up till he went for me.
Where did you say the knife was?
Side table.
And you expect the members of the jury to believe that you happened to be standing near the knife by chance?
No, I was backing away from Datchet. Well, he was coming at me with a bottle.
Well, O'Reilly, I suggest that you saw that knife before you decided to use it. And your own mother has testified that you picked up the knife when Datchet punched her and stabbed him after he had used the bottle in his own defence.
You disgust me! You should be here instead of me, you privileged bastard!
Mr. O'Reilly, you're not doing yourself any good by resorting to this language. You must just answer the question.
No, that's not what happened.
When did you find out that it was Datchet who had informed the police of your whereabouts after your first escape from Bamford Hall?
After I'd been put back inside.
And this served to fire your desire for revenge even more. Is that not the case, O'Reilly?
No.
I suggest that the evidence points directly to your motive. Revenge on this intruder, as you saw him. He was directly responsible for your incarceration.
Well, I know, but I didn't kill him for it.
Why should your own mother testify that you picked up the knife and attacked Datchet?
I don't know.
I suggest that far from defending yourself, the only person who was defending himself on that night was Datchet.
No, he went for me.
I put it to you, Mr. O'Reilly, that you had expressed the need to get even, and that you determined to travel back from London to Fulchester in order that you could remove this man who you saw as an intruder who had been cruel to you, and that you did this by deliberately stabbing him. Is this not the case?
Nothing. You understand nothing. You haven't even listened to a word I said. Well, what do you know about my life, eh? Stood there in your Ponzi wig. You don't know nothing about me. You're just as bad as he was. Look, why didn't you just all throw me inside? Well, you all thought I'd done it on purpose anyway.
The case of the Queen against O'Reilly will be concluded tomorrow in the Crown Court. The case you're about to see is fictional, but the procedure is authentic. The characters are played by actors, but the jury is selected from members of the public. Stephen O'Reilly is charged with the murder of his mother's lover, Thomas Datchet, after a violent quarrel in her flat. O'Reilly is now in the witness box.
I must remind you that you are still on oath, Mr. O'Reilly. When you found out it was Datchet who told the police where you were during your first escape from Bamford Hall, did you decide to seek revenge and deliberately harm him?
No. It just made me feel good about me mum, that she hadn't shot me. Well, I mean, it made more sense that Datchet had done it.
Thank you. All right, let us return to the night of the 15th. Think very carefully now, Mr. O'Reilly. Did you see the knife before you moved to the side table?
No.
Did you at any time have any intention of violence towards Datchet?
No, I just wanted to make things clear before I left.
Did you intend to leave after talking?
Yeah.
Steve, why did you use the knife?
Well, Datchet would have killed me. I just grabbed the knife. Well, it was like my only way of defending myself.
When did you pick up the knife?
When I was on the floor.
Your mother has stated that Datchet picked up the bottle after you went for the knife. Is this correct?
No, before.
Why do you think she'd say this?
I don't know. Well, she had blood in her eyes and she was dizzy in that, I suppose. Well, I suppose she couldn't see all that clearly.
Could you have removed yourself from Datchet's grasp?
No. He was pinning me on the floor. Well, he was just about to stick this bottle in my head. Well, I just grabbed the knife. It was a low table, so I could just reach it.
What did you mean by the line, "I'll show him how I feel"?
Well, like I said, I just wanted to show him that I weren't nothing. Well, it'd be like my way of getting even. I wanted my mum to be proud of me and all. Well, that's all I meant. Just show him I could write. That's all I meant.
And what did you mean by, "I feel like David"?
I don't know, I mean, well, it sounds stupid, but I did, just for a bit. But not really. I don't know, I can't really explain it.
Well, did you see it as an heroic act, as my learned friend suggests?
No. Well, I never meant to kill no one. When I nicked the car, it was just for a laugh. And they stuck me inside for it. I put it back and all. The car, that is. I mean, it wasn't as if I'd smashed it up or nothing. Look, I never meant to kill him. There was nothing else I could do. Well, he would have killed me, wouldn't he?
Thank you very much, Mr. O'Reilly. No further questions, my lord. Miss Jameson, were you O'Reilly's English teacher at Danvers Comprehensive, Fulchester?
Yes.
What sort of a student was Steve O'Reilly, Miss Jameson?
Very bright. He had a good grasp of language and ideas.
And what was his work like when you first taught him?
Excellent. Then it became erratic.
When was this?
Well, it first began when his mother started to live with that Datchet man.
Could you explain this?
Yes, well, his poems became more desperate, violent and dark. His homework suffered as well.
Did O'Reilly ever speak to you about his home life?
Yes.
What did he say, Miss Jameson?
Well, Steve explained about the difficulty between Datchet and himself.
Did you discuss this often?
Quite a lot, yes.
When did these conversations start?
Well, it first began when his work started relating directly to his home situation.
I see. And what did you do when you were aware of his home situation, Miss Jameson?
I encouraged him with his writing. I explained that a lot of the great writers wrote as a form of catharsis, as a way of understanding and channeling the pain of their everyday situation.
And did you ever have any contact with Mrs. O'Reilly and with Datchet?
Oh, yes, I did speak to Mrs. O'Reilly. It was after a poem which referred to being beaten by Datchet. I told her that Steve's schoolwork was suffering as a result of Datchet's cruelty.
And how did Mrs. O'Reilly react to this?
Well, she said she just wasn't interested. She said, mind your own business. School's school and home's home.
And was Datchet there?
Oh, yes. He told me to piss off out of their flat.
In your discussions, Miss Jameson, did Steve ever speak privately of any violent intention towards Datchet?
No.
Did he ever refer to it in his writing or composition?
No. He often wrote of a need to impress him, to show him he was good at something. This was expressed angrily sometimes, but it was more expressive of a desire for communication, not a desire for violence.
Thank you, Miss Jameson. Wait there, please.
Miss Jameson, did Stephen O'Reilly like Datchet?
I don't think he was overly fond of him, no.
Overly fond? That's very interesting. Surely as a teacher of the English language you could have chosen a more apposite phrase. May I suggest the word hatred, perhaps?
I suppose there was some hatred, yes.
There was hatred for Datchet.
Yes, but people have mixed emotions. I mean, he may have had these feelings, but he did want to bridge the gap between them. I thought he should clarify his emotions.
Clarify his emotions, Miss Jameson? What do you mean by that?
I encouraged him to write down his feelings so that he could clarify them, understand them.
Miss Jameson, Mrs. O'Reilly has stated that after the killing, Stephen O'Reilly said, "I feel like David." Now, why would he speak of David? Perhaps he saw Datchet as a kind of Goliath? Do you not think it possible, Miss Jameson, that O'Reilly saw his actions in a heroic gesture?
No, I don't. Steve couldn't kill anyone deliberately. He certainly wouldn't see it as heroic.
Yet, on his own admission, he did kill Datchet, a man he himself has admitted a hatred for. Now, you say that his work became more desperate, violent, and dark. Now, wouldn't you agree that O'Reilly's killing of Datchet was a natural progression of this desperation and violence?
No, I wouldn't. The violence was only expressed in his compositions and his essays.
You don't agree that there is any connection in the change in O'Reilly's personality and writing to desperate, violent, and dark, and this act of desperate, violent killing?
No, for heaven's sake, the kid was trying to express himself. Can't you see that?
Oh, indeed I can, Miss Jameson. But I also suggest that the link between writing lines such as I'll show him how I feel, and the killing should be apparent to you as a teacher of our language. Would you not concur?
No, I would not.
No further questions, my lord.
You are Joanna Downey.
Yeah.
Are you the girlfriend of Steve O'Reilly?
Yeah, he's my friend.
And were you at Mrs. O'Reilly's flat on the night in question with Steve?
Yeah, he asked me to come and meet his mum.
Where did you meet Steve?
I was a bass player in a band, and we both got bored of it. Well, I knew he was on the run. You can tell. Know what I mean? Something about people on the run, you can sense it. Well, when he came to London, he said he was going to visit his mum, so I thought I'd go with him. We hitched it up here.
And what happened when you arrived at the flat?
Steve's mum came to the door. She looked well surprised. She told him he'd better go or that geezer would have him over.
Have him over?
Lay one on him. Have a bundle.
Have a bundle?
Hurt him.
I see. Carry on, Miss Field.
Then what happened, Miss Downey?
Steve goes, "This is Joe," to his mum. And then he said it would be all right, that he'd just come to have a chat, make his peace light. So we went in, and that geezer was watching the telly with a bottle of beer. My life. State of him. Beer gut, smelly feet. How could anyone fancy that?
You are referring to Datchet?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what did Datchet do?
The first thing he says to Steve is piss off and take your slag with you.
How did O'Reilly react to this?
He just kept his cool. Steve looked at me as if to say, take no notice of him, he's pissed.
Do you mean that he was in a state of inebriation? Do you mean that he was drunk?
Yeah, pissed.
I see. Miss Downey, I do wish you'd make your points clearly and refrain from using these crude vernacular references.
What?
Please continue, Miss Field.
Thank you, my lord. So Datchet said, piss off and take your slag with you, and what happened next?
Well, Steve didn't get angry or nothing when he said that to me. We just kept on trying to talk to that bloke. Then Datchet got up and grabbed the phone. He said, "Right, you little git, they'll sling you in some top security place now and we'll see the back of you."
Did Steve retaliate at this?
No. I was amazed. If he'd have said that to me, I'd have belted him.
Did Steve remain calm?
Yeah. Well, I suppose he was used to it. Incredible what you could put up with after a while. Well, we just asked him to calm down. Said he was sorry for what happened in the past, but they should make it up, sort of thing.
What did Datchet do next?
We started to phone for the police. And his mum started a racket. Well, she told him to calm down and all. And then he smacked Steve's mum in the eye.
Did this cause her to bleed, Miss Downey?
Yeah, it was running down her face.
She was trying to wipe it out of her eyes.
Again, did O'Reilly remain calm, or did he retaliate?
He was calm, but he was well upset.
Upset?
Yeah, but he never lost his temper or nothing. He just told Datchet to stop it.
I must ask you to think very clearly now, Miss Downey. I want you to explain exactly what happened next. Try to leave nothing out.
Well, when Datchet hit his mum, Steve told him to stop it. And then Datchet kept saying things like, "Oh yeah, come and stop me then." Well, Steve didn't do nothing. He kept asking him to calm down. Then Datchet smashed the bottle and went for Steve. We pushed the bottle at him a few times. Steve just kept backing away, dodging the bottle and saying he'd go. Then Datchet punched Steve in the guts. Steve went down on the floor and Datchet pinned him down. He said, "Right, you little prat, I'll have you," then lifted the bottle to smash it in Steve's face. Well, Steve grabbed the knife from the side table and stabbed him. It was all over really quick. And Steve got up, dropped the knife and phoned for the police. It was horrible.
Thank you very much, Miss Downey. Just stay there, please.
Miss Downey, what exactly did O'Reilly tell you about Datchet?
That he was a right bastard. That he never got on with him.
And did this not deter you from your visit?
No. I weren't scared, if that's what you mean.
Oh, I'm sure you weren't. But I suggest to you that O'Reilly made you aware of his hatred for Datchet and told you of his desire for revenge. Is this not the case?
Yeah.
So O'Reilly told you he wanted revenge?
Well, that was obvious. When we used to do the song I'll Show Him at gigs. Well, I knew it was about Datchet.
Yes. So this journey to the flat was O'Reilly's deliberate intention. You hitched from London to Fulchester to seek revenge, is this not so?
No. Steve wouldn't hurt a fly. He didn't mean revenge like that. He meant he wanted to do something with his life, show Datchet he could do it in spite of him.
And did you go to O'Reilly's assistance when you say that Datchet attacked him?
I tried to, but it was no use.
Oh, so Datchet was contending with you and O'Reilly?
No. I went to stop Datchet, right? Steve told me not to, so I didn't.
Well, surely you must have been aware that your presence would have exacerbated the situation, the feeling of tension.
What?
Did it not occur to you that your being there would have made things worse?
No, how was I to know?
Well, possibly you didn't, Miss Downey, but O'Reilly surely must have known the effect your presence would have on Datchet.
I don't know what you mean.
Well, Datchet was evidently full of self-loathing about his unemployment and the vicious cycle of his drinking habits. Now, he would hardly have welcomed a stranger seeing him in that condition. Did this not occur to you?
He seemed past caring.
I suggest to you, Miss Downey, that you were perfectly aware of O'Reilly's feelings for Datchet and the reason for making this journey, namely to get even with Datchet.
No, that just ain't true.
Miss Downey, did O'Reilly not pick up the knife earlier than you have stated?
He only grabbed it when he was on the floor.
Why did he not try to escape instead of resorting to violence?
Because he was pinned down.
O'Reilly is a young man, according to evidence, a physically strong young man. And Datchet's reflexes must surely have been impaired by the effects of the alcohol. Otherwise, O'Reilly would not have been able to dodge the thrust from the bottle.
Yeah. Well, suppose he was slowed down by the drink a bit.
So why did O'Reilly not move quicker than Datchet at this point, when he had been able to only a few moments before?
Because he was pushed on the floor and couldn't move.
Couldn't move?
Datchet was holding him down, OK?
Did O'Reilly attempt to leave the flat when he saw that the situation was getting out of control?
I've told you. He tried to, but like that Datchet geezer smashed the bottle and went for him. It was too quick for Steve to get out.
I see. Well, I suggest this story of yours is merely a corroboration out of loyalty to your boyfriend. Now, in some situations, Miss Downey, loyalty, well, it is an admirable quality. However, I remind you that you are on oath, and perjury is itself an offence. I put it to you that Mrs. O'Reilly's evidence about her son's actions is accurate. Namely, that after she had been struck by Datchet, her son lost his temper, reached for the knife, and attacked Datchet, who then smashed the bottle to ward off this attack. Now, is this not the case?
No! I ain't lying, I ain't. Well, Steve wouldn't go for no one with a knife like that, no matter what happened.
Yes, this is evidently just what he did, Miss Downey.
What else could he do? It was either Datchet or him.
I hear what you say, Miss Downey. No further questions, my lord.
Miss Downey, you are quite sure that your evidence is based on fact, on what you actually saw, and not, as my learned friend suggests, out of loyalty to your boyfriend.
Yeah.
Therefore, remembering you are still on oath, Miss Downey, did Steve O'Reilly at any time taunt or threaten Datchet?
No.
Did he tell you of any intention of violence towards Datchet?
No, of course not. He ain't a violent person. I mean, when we done the gigs and that, and we got some nutters causing aggro, we just ignore him. He never retaliated.
So when Datchet attacked him with a broken bottle, O'Reilly did not retaliate?
No. He just kept backing away. Then Datchet punched Steve. He fell on the floor and Datchet held him down.
Miss Downey, when Steve was pinned down, unable to move, did it appear that Datchet intended to harm him?
Yeah, Datchet wanted to see blood, all right.
Now, in your opinion, was there any way Steve could have removed himself from Datchet's grasp?
No. He was about 18 stone or something and sat on top of him. Datchet was just about to smash the bottle in Steve's face when he grabbed the knife.
And then, and only then, he picked up the knife?
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Miss Downey. No further questions, my lord. And that concludes the case for the defence.
Members of the jury, on the evidence of his own mother, O'Reilly saw her being punched and reacted by picking up the knife and attacking Datchet. Then, and only then, did Datchet smash the bottle to ward off this attack. Now, according to Mrs. O'Reilly, her son was not punched to the floor by Datchet. On the contrary, O'Reilly made the first move with his knife attack on Datchet, who then tried to defend himself. Now, members of the jury, why should Mrs. O'Reilly lie to this court? She has no motive. She has given evidence about the actions of her own son, who, as the arresting officer testified, merely said of his violent act, "It'll make a change to be put inside for something bad." And the only other witness of the actual killing was the accused's girlfriend. Now, whose story shall we believe? I put it to you, ladies and gentlemen, that O'Reilly deliberately resorted to this act of violence, that he was not acting on a sudden impulse or in self-defense, but had 3 long years in which to brood on his revenge. I'll show him how I feel. Indeed, I suggest that O'Reilly saw it as an heroic gesture, hence the rather childish reference to feeling like David slaying the Goliath Datchet. I urge you, members of the jury, to consider these points carefully, and having considered them, the Crown submits that you will be driven to the one conclusion: guilty of murder.
I put it to you, members of the jury, there does indeed seem no motive why Mrs. O'Reilly should supply incorrect or incomplete evidence. She simply did not see what was happening clearly enough for her evidence to be reliable. We have heard from O'Reilly and Miss Downey how, on the night in question, he had seen his mother punched and still did not retaliate violently. He acted, as he has said, like a person who wanted to calm the situation. Perhaps it was naive to expect a change, but he tried. He was then attacked with a broken bottle 3 or 4 times and still did not retaliate. He merely backed away and offered to leave. Only when he was punched in the stomach, forced down on the floor, and Datchet lifted the bottle to smash in his face, did he take action in his own defense. Foolish, yes. Rash, possible. Planned and premeditated, certainly not. As for the poem, surely it is now clear that these lines refer to O'Reilly's need for communication, for his need for some measure of understanding with Datchet. We have heard from Miss Jameson, his English teacher, of Steve O'Reilly's literary promise and intelligence, how he was given very little love and encouragement, and indeed must have felt an inconvenience to his mother. He was searching for a means of expression. This was largely denied him. But surely that is no motive for murder. Ladies and gentlemen, consider the facts. This was not murder, but self-defense in the very last resort by a person who, according to all the witnesses, including prosecution witnesses, never started violence. O'Reilly's reference to David may appear rather apt. The Bible states, "There was no sword in the hand of David, as indeed there was no knife in O'Reilly's hand at the time of Datchet's attack." Ladies and gentlemen, Steve O'Reilly's Goliath was not only Datchet.
Members of the jury, you have heard both sides of this tragic incident. I must remind you that it is for the Crown to prove its case. You must be convinced so that you are sure that Stephen O'Reilly was not acting in self-defense. If you have any reasonable doubt, then you must acquit him. However, if you are satisfied so that you are sure that O'Reilly intended either to kill Datchet or to cause grievous bodily injury, then he is guilty of murder. However, if you reject the contention that he acted in self-defense, but nevertheless you think that he may have been provoked there and then into taking the action that he did, then your proper verdict is one of manslaughter. In law, a person is acting in self-defense when he cannot reasonably retreat, and the retaliation he employs is reasonable. Will you now retire, elect a foreman to speak for you, and to consider your verdict?
The court will rise. Have you reached a verdict on which you are all agreed?
Yes.
Do you find the defendant, Stephen O'Reilly, guilty or not guilty of murder?
Not guilty.
On the alternative count of manslaughter, as directed by his lordship, do you find the defendant guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Stephen O'Reilly, you have been found guilty of manslaughter out of motives of hatred and revenge. And the jury must, by their verdict, find that to a considerable degree you were the aggressor. I take into account your age, but in the circumstances, the minimum sentence I can pass on you is one of 3 years' imprisonment.